Now I did make this video before. I made a theory. I made this exact theory, but my mistake was that I made it for adults. So I decided to make this more kid-friendly series because, to be honest, you guys are my main audience. And I appreciate you guys so much. I'm making this video for you guys. So now let's get into the video. Now I don't know about you guys, but I believe this Roblox edition of Sprunki deserves its own lore and its own story. So I'm gonna make a story and a theory according to what I see and what I understand. I don't know anything about Sprunki's lore or story, so I'm just taking what I actually see and making up my own story because, hey, we got an imagination, why not use it? So, first of all, what I understand so far is that this was a very happy place where everybody loved to sing. And that's what I do understand. And everybody just sings together. And maybe some of them, the ones that are not showing that they're happy, actually are kind of bored, and maybe they're not too into the happiness and they're kind of tired. You know, everybody's different. But what I do know is that at some point they get infected. But this looks very weird. It looks like everybody got bodied. It does look like something terrifying happened to our friendly characters, changing the world on its own. Like, everything changed, and it changed dark. You do gotta admit, it changed into a dark form of the world. From the friendly world we had to this, what happened? Well, if we look at some clues, we see that Mr. Black right here is the very last character, and he looks very ominous and evil. And for some reason, the computer has his face. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that is a clear connection between Black and Mr. Fun Computer. And it only happens once they turn into this dark form. Now, another thing is Yevon right here. Yevon awfully looks like he's dressed like the character Death. Like he's some kind of cultist. And he's right next to Black. I'll tell you that. So they might be the main villains of our story. That's how I'm getting the clues together and pasting it all together. Now, we also have some other clues with all our characters. Some of our characters clearly survived and are just sad with what transpired, what happened. Well, if we follow the clues of what happened, we see specifically right here a charred tree. And this tree tells a story. It says fire, missing people, burning. Why is this tree burning now? And why is there missing people? That's very strange. What could possibly happen? So I did notice that Owax right here is very specifically, has a very specific reaction and has a very specific sound and animation. If we work our way through the lands of Sprunki here, and we enter each zone, each character has his own zone. But if we specifically go to Owax, which he's a little bit over here, Owax specifically is in the city. And if you look at him, he's making the sounds of an explosion. And if you look at his design and how he looks and how he is in the city making this sound, It looks like he's telling us that there was a big explosion. Now, if we go back with that theory in mind, and we look at our friendly characters over here, if there was an explosion, does it make any sense that it was an explosion? So if we look at some of the characters, they do look like they were devastated by unfortunate, crazy circumstances. But then we have other characters that look, well, to me, they all look like something accidental happened, to be honest. At least all the characters here in our game in Roblox. Clearly, something unfortunate happened, like an explosion. Now, I will say that the sky is a big clue on this because the sky is red with a bunch of eyes. And the only character with an eye is Mr. Sun right here. So to me, just like Black and the computer give us the clues that they belong together, the sun and the sky, the fact that they both have eyes gives me a clue that they belong together. So if I paste Mr. Black with the computer, I would say that he used the computer to make something happen. And that something might have been controlling the sun. How? Well, let's say that the sun, instead of being a sun, is a weapon. And the weapon is used like in the Star Wars movie, you know, the Death Star that throws a giant laser. Well, that's how I see it. I think the sun is actually a Death Star, just like in Star Wars. And Black used the computer to put the code in to control the weapon that is the sun, to send a laser to make a huge explosion, like a nuclear explosion. Why? Because the suns are nuclear. They are radioactive material. And that explains why the tree is charred, why there's so many missing people. But even to take it into a further detail, a lot of our characters start changing very specifically. They start transforming into what seems a mutated radioactive form. So that is very specific radioactive energy. And they're mutating. They're having radioactive mutations. So just like the games Fallout, where they have characters named ghouls, which are people that are affected by radiation to the point where they really live a very long life and turn kind of into hideous looking monsters. It looks like a lot of our characters are having the same effects. They're having exactly the same effects of radiation mutation. It's clear that these guys are now radioactive, and this has turned into a radioactive landscape. So to me, it's pretty clear. Now, if we go back and we look at our characters, a lot of characters went crazy, like Wenda here. A lot of characters got deeply sad and depressed. And you gotta understand, like Owax, fear. And fear sets in, and if you're afraid of the sun, and the sun is the eye in the sky, well, you do start seeing hallucinations and start seeing your fears manifest. And you start seeing the eye in the sky everywhere. You start like, oh my God, There's an eye in the sky. There's an eye in the sky. And it was devastating. And it explodes and it's dangerous. And you start seeing and going actually crazy. As a matter of fact, a lot of our characters might have started going crazy and start having side effects in their mind, seeing things and doing things that not they were probably not okay. I'm just gonna say they were probably not okay in their mind. But to me it just makes sense. That story to me just makes sense by me using the clues to put characters together. To put characters together and certain elements and clues and how the characters look, how the consequences, how they transform into mutated beings, how everything is, how people that are trying to expose the truth that is happening eventually get bodied as well, and make sure that the truth never got out. And I don't know about you, but our friend Stunner here does look like a detective, maybe a reporter. Just saying. Understand Yevon is a worshipper of death and he is a cultist and that's just his way. But why did Black do it? Is did Black actually destroy everybody because he was tired of the music? He's a fan of a different type of music. Jazz. Jazz music. And clearly Yevon is a worshipper of death. That's why he wears the robe of death. Is the fact that Black is a jazz musician and hates other forms of sound? Why did he do it? That's the real mystery. You understand? So to me, it is clear that this is the story that happened in our friendly little world right here in Roblox. That is just the way I see it, guys. That is just my theory, my story. Now, I don't know how you guys think the story goes or how you feel about my story. I hope you like it. But to me, that's just how the story goes. And clearly, Yevon is a dark, cryptic character behind the scenes, possibly controlling everything. He's just too sus, bro. He's too sus. But yeah, guys, I love theory crafting like that. I really got into this game. It's crazy. They have amazing beats. It's actually really cool, guys. I really enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy it as well. At the end of the day, all these characters, all they want to do is sing. All they want to do, even after death, all they truly want to do is keep playing their song. When things were bright and happy, they just want to keep singing together. Well, guys, that is my theory. Because at the end of the day, there is no story. But to me, it's clear as day. Like I said, that is my theory. And just to claim this theory, today is December 9th, 2024. And I think I'm the only one that actually sees how clear the story is. So this is my theory. And I know that Mr. Black is the culprit because, of course, he's a seed of death, just like me, which means the beginning of the end. But guys, like I said, it will be amazing if you guys subscribe so I could do so much better content for you guys. Like, to be honest, one day I might actually have an editor or even better, an animator and make amazing videos. Who knows? Nobody could tell the future. Who knows what could happen? Our life could change overnight. And I have hopes that this will also happen to me. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I hope this was the best theory you ever heard. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace.